what's up guys? So in this video I wanted to talk about a scale that I think some of you guys should be paying attention to, especially when you're out there in the market looking for a new smartphone. This is probably one that I would say you definitely want to check the numbers on. As you guys should know me by now, when it comes to benchmarks, I really don't give a hoot about benchmarks. They don't really tell you what the user experience is for a device. They just put a number to performance. Really, that's all it is. And so when it comes to benchmarking smartphones, that's why I don't do them anymore, because it's pretty much pointless. I mean, if you want to have a number to a performance to scale it, by all means, benchmark your phone. But to me, using the phone is really where the most important aspect of it is. So, but with this scale is completely different, because this scale is talking about a failure rate. Now, failure rate is basically with a phone that is actually defective manufactured, or that the life expectancy of the device dies out before its true time. There are device lifeline expectancies when it comes to smartphones. Majority of them are usually about like 2 years or even more. Some will even yield claim that their phones can last 4 years, and that's with them doing incremental updates and software updates as well. But nonetheless, 2 years is usually the life expectancy of a smartphone, because then, and by then, most services will consider that version of the operating system on that device to be obsolete. Therefore, a lot of its performance is going to be died down when using services that are no longer compatible or just will run junky on that operating system. However, life expectancy of a device, 2 years when it comes to software updates. Now, Lifeline, that's a completely different thing. That is where, like, how long the device will last, powering on and off without battery issues, camera working, no electronic failure in the device. And that's what this is going by. This is going by that. And usually, you can get 5-6 years out of the device, as long as it's maintained and you're not like flashing it with custom ROMs or anything like that. Then the lifeline expectancy of a device would be quite long. So, when we're looking at the top 10 manufacturers that have a high failure rate, and then we'll look at the top 10 models that are having a high failure rate. So with the manufacturer side of things, the top 10, which is surprising, the number 1 is Samsung. Samsung taking it at 34%. That's pretty high. Compared to the rest on this list, 34% is extremely high, because as we're going to the second would be Xiaomi at 13%, Motorola at 9%, LG at 7%, InFocus at 4%, HMD Global, which is Nokia, at 4%, Huawei at 4%, OnePlus at 3%, and the top device that has less failure rate, believe it or not, people who like to bash on this company, ZTE. ZTE has a 2% failure rate for its devices. And that's with the top 10 manufacturers globally. Now, when it comes to the device models, the Xiaomi Redmi 4 is at the top with a 9%. Motorola Moto G5S and 5 Plus is at a 6%. Lenovo K8 Note is at a 5%, Nokia 6 at a 4%, the Galaxy S7 at a 3%, same for the Galaxy S8 Plus, same for the Galaxy S7 Active, the Xiaomi Redmi Y1 at 2%, and the Galaxy S6 at 2%, with the S7 Edge also at 2%. Now, some of you guys may question, like, okay, well, if the S7 Edge, the S6, the S8 Plus, the S7 Active, and the S7 are at a lower, like lower than 4% rating, then why is Samsung at 34% when it comes to the top 10 manufacturers? And that's because these are the top 10 devices that are known to have failure rates. However, what's not on this list is like the J series, the A series, the C series. Those devices aren't on there, but yes, there are failure rates with those phones. Now, if we move over to the Apple side of things, the most worst phone ever made, well, not ever made, but the most worst phone that has the worst performance and the highest failure rate is the iPhone 6. So the iPhone 6 being on that list as the worst performing phone model of iPhones, followed by a high failure rate for the device. Now, but that's on the Apple side of things. Android obviously being huge, fragmented with multiple different manufacturers and devices. Obviously, there's a lot to look at there. So with Samsung being at 34%, that would have people kind of question exactly what Samsung's doing with its manufacturing process, the types of material being used, are they cutting corners, like all these things you got to start factoring in, because a 34% making Samsung the number 1 company to have a high failure rate for devices, that is really insane to really think about it. and very alarming too. So these reports change quarterly. The next one that gets released out, we'll see where Samsung sits then. I'll do a follow-up video to this one. But let me know what you guys think. What are your guys' opinions about this scale? And this is not just like one's perspective scale. This is by the number of reported devices that have to be exchanged, devices that are reported as defective upon unboxing. All those things are factoring into this, and then also the lifeline expectancy of a device that should probably go 6 years, that is having hardware malfunctions like within 2 years. I mean, those are where these numbers are coming from. And so with that, it's interesting to know what you guys think about it. So you guys know where you guys can do that in the comment section of the video. If you guys enjoyed it, drop a like to let me know. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Aloha.